Philippians chapter 4 verses 12 to 13 ESV. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. Our message today is doing all things through Christ who strengthens me. In life, there are two great seasons: a moment of plenty and a moment of want or lack, a moment of disappointment and a season of appointment, days of being in need and days when you have more than you need, days when plans are successful and days when plans fail, days when things go and happen the way you expected, and days when things go and happen the way you never expected, times when jobs and businesses are good and enjoyable to be done, and those times when you feel like quitting and giving up and asking yourself, why did I get myself into this? Why did I begin this business? In such times, how do you go about them? How do you, as a believer, pass through them? There are those days when you will pray and answers come immediately. There are those days when you're going to fast and pray for long, yet the answers you are seeking don't come the way you expected. Yet there are those days when you're going to pray for 5 minutes and the answers that you need are there in a very short while. And there are those days you're going to labor so much in prayers, yet answers, you have to wait for them for a very long time. That is how life is. Maybe you have never lacked clothes or you have never experienced nakedness. But you will agree with me that there are those times things have not happened the way you wanted in your life. There are those times when you have been disappointed, and disappointment means there was something you are always expecting. In life, there are those times when things will work out according to your needs, and there are those times when things will never work out according to your needs. Maybe in your family, there are those times it is easier for you to meet your needs, and there are those times it is hard for you to meet the needs of your family. Maybe in marriage, there are those times when there is happiness, there is quietness, there is peace, there is reassurance. And there are those times when there is no quietness, there is no peace, there is fighting. How do you as a believer cope in those times? That the time of plenty does not lead you away to God and rest on a boastful pride that it is your strength that has granted you the success. And in the times when things don't happen in accordance to your expectation, how do you cope up with them so that the difficulty of the moment does not hinder you from believing? How are you contented with every situation that you go through, that you remain faithful to your prayers and to your faith, that you do what Paul tells the Thessalonian church in the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verses 18, that give thanks in every circumstance, for this is the will of God for you. How do you have the ability to give thanks in mourning as well as in joy? In moments when you've been tested and afflicted, and in moments when there is comfort, how do you go through them with contentment that there is a God who is still there for me. Paul tells us his own story, and he says, I know he has experienced it. He has a first-hand experience. As a believer, one who had met with God, one who had met with Jesus and had seen Jesus, yet would still go through moments of difficulty, moments of lack, and moments of plenty, moments of abundance, and moments of lacking completely and being in need. Paul, being an apostle, one who had opened many churches, could still lack. And that means it is not abnormal, neither is it a strange happening to be in want, to have high moments and low moments. Moments when needs are met the way we expect, and moments when needs are not met the way we never expected. But how did Paul go through those moments without murmuring, so that we too we can go through each and every moment of our life without murmuring, without forsaking God, so that in the moments when there is plenty, we cannot boast and say it is by our might we have gotten this. And when things don't happen the way we expect, we don't murmur and say, God is far from us. Paul says, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. God is God in each and every season of your life. Seasons don't change God, but God still reveals himself in those seasons. God told Noah in the book of Genesis chapter 8 verses 22 that while the earth remains, seed time, harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Moments of feeling the heat of the moment, moments of feeling the coldness of the season are going to be there. Days of darkness and days of light are going to be there. Summer and winter are going to be there. They will never miss as long as the earth remains. And God is not changed by them. God endures forever. God is still there. The way he strengthens us on our peak is the way he strengthens us on our lowest moment. The way he gives us ability to worship when we have clothing is the way he still gives us ability to pray when we are naked. We are the ones who refuse that ability to worship him. He does not stop the grace from flowing to us of serving him when we are hungry and in need, and give us the grace to worship and pray when things happen the way we want. The grace is sufficient, Christ tells Paul, for in the hour of your weakness, my strength is made perfect. In those moments we feel like Christ is so far away, those are the moments Christ's strength is made perfect. In our moment of need and weakness, in our moment of lack, still Christ's strength is made perfect. The way the strength of Christ we feel is made perfect when things happen the way we want. When today I don't have food, God is still God, and his grace is still sufficient equally to those days when I have food. Those days when my business is good, still God is God, equally as those days when my business is not good. Those days when there is joy in my family, in my relationship, in my marriage, is still the way God is giving me joy and strength, even in those times when things are not good. When there is cold, God is God. When there is heat, God is still God. And that means the strength he is giving us, it is not shifting with the ones whose faith are shifting. But stop shifting in your faith any longer, because God is strengthening you equally in every season, in every moment of your life, irrespective of the highness and the lowliness of those moments. When you are hungry, when you're satisfied, God is filling you equally. God is strengthening you equally. The strength of God is not seen by how our needs are met, but instead with how we are sustained and maintained in everything. Do not stop praying because you think now things are good. God is the one who is giving you strength to go through good times. Do not give up and say there is no God because things are not happening the way that you want. God still is giving you strength. Those moments you stopped praying, you stopped believing in God because things were not good, was not because God was not strengthening you. It is because you're the one who refused the strength of God. Those times you forsook God because things were good. It is not because God was far away. It is because you thought that your strength was the one that made you to be successful. But today learn this. I can go through moments of success, yet still worship God and have contentment to serve God. And I can go through moments of failure and darkness, yet not forsake God, because God is strengthening me through every time equally. God bless you as you accept the strength in whatever thing you are going through right now. Amen.